A devastating mid-air collision between an American Airlines regional jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter has left the nation in shock. The crash, which occurred near Washington, D.C., is being called the deadliest aviation disaster in nearly 24 years. With 67 people dead and numerous questions surrounding how two aircraft ended up in the same airspace, speculation and conspiracy theories are already circulating. Was this a tragic accident, or is there more to the story? What happened? On January 30th, 2025, an American Airlines regional jet was on its final approach to Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. At the same time, a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter was conducting a routine training mission in the area. Air traffic control had cleared the American Airlines flight for landing, but directed it to use a shorter runway than initially planned. Just moments before impact, an air traffic controller reportedly asked the Black Hawk pilot if they had visual contact with the jet. However, the helicopter crew did not respond before the two aircraft collided mid-air. Both went down into the icy waters of the Potomac River. None of the 67 people aboard the two aircraft survived. Search and rescue teams were immediately deployed. And within hours, the flight recorders, commonly referred to as black boxes, were recovered from both aircraft. Officials hope that these devices will provide clarity on what went wrong in those final moments before the crash. Who was on board? The American Airlines regional jet carried 64 passengers and crew members, all of whom tragically lost their lives. So far, authorities have not disclosed the full passenger manifest, though families of the victims have begun receiving notifications. The Black Hawk helicopter was carrying 3 U.S. Army personnel. While initial speculation suggested the presence of high-ranking officials due to the helicopter's gold top, often associated with VIP transport, the Pentagon has denied that any senior government officials were aboard at the time of the collision. However, this hasn't stopped speculation from spreading. Some online communities have suggested that the helicopter was on a classified mission and that the true identities of those on board are being concealed. Others believe that the individuals inside the Black Hawk may have been targeted. In breaking news today, the U.S. Army has released the names of 2 soldiers killed in the crash, but has withheld the identity of the third. This decision has led to speculation about the undisclosed individual's role and whether their identity is being concealed due to the sensitive nature of the mission. Unusual air traffic control communications. One of the key mysteries surrounding the crash is the sequence of air traffic control instructions. Normally, commercial airliners and military aircraft operate in highly controlled airspace, with strict separation protocols. In this case, controllers directed the American Airlines pilots to land on a different runway than originally assigned. While such changes aren't uncommon, they have raised questions about why the switch was made. Additionally, the Black Hawk helicopter was asked if it had visual contact with the approaching aircraft. The crew's failure to respond before the impact has led to speculation about whether they were dealing with an emergency of their own. Could this have been a miscommunication or a technical failure, or was something more intentional at play? The clear night controversy. One of the biggest sources of conspiracy theories comes from President Donald Trump. Shortly after the crash, he posted on social media emphasizing that the collision took place on a clear night, implying that weather conditions were not a factor. To some, this was simply an observation, but to others, it hinted at deeper suspicions that such an accident should not have happened under clear weather conditions. Some have speculated that Trump was subtly suggesting the possibility of foul play or a cover-up. Online communities quickly picked up on his statement, with theories ranging from the idea that the air traffic control instructions were deliberately manipulated to the possibility of electronic interference, affecting the aircraft's navigation systems. Sabotage theories and possible intentional actions. Several alternative theories have emerged regarding the true cause of the crash. Some theorists believe the Black Hawk helicopter may have been carrying a high-profile government or military figure whose presence has not been publicly disclosed. If true, this could suggest the collision was not an accident but an assassination attempt. However, no credible evidence has surfaced to support this claim. Electronic interference. Some aviation experts have pointed out that modern aircraft rely heavily on electronic communication and navigation systems. Today, reports were released revealing that the Black Hawk helicopter was conducting a training exercise for a top-secret continuity of government mission. designed to evacuate top U.S. officials during national emergencies. Another theory has also emerged that an external source, potentially cyber-related, could have jammed or manipulated signals, causing the aircraft to unknowingly enter the same airspace. Air traffic control manipulation. Critics of the official narrative have questioned why controllers changed the American Airlines flight's landing approach and why the helicopter's crew failed to acknowledge their instructions. Could someone have intentionally misled either aircraft into a fatal collision? Military experiment gone wrong. Some theorists have speculated that a classified military exercise was taking place at the time of the crash, possibly involving electronic warfare or drone testing. If an experimental system interfered with air traffic control signals or navigation systems, it could have contributed to the disaster. While these theories remain speculative, they highlight the deep concerns surrounding the circumstances of this collision, the investigation, and what comes next. As the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, and other agencies analyze the flight data recorders, families of the victims are demanding answers. The aviation community is closely watching to see if this was an isolated incident or if it reveals broader vulnerabilities in air traffic control and aviation safety. As of today, in response to the collision, U.S. authorities have imposed restrictions on helicopter flights near Reagan International Airport. This move has prompted questions about existing air traffic control protocol and whether systemic issues contributed to the crash. Government officials have urged the public to wait for the full investigation before jumping to conclusions. But in today's fast-moving digital landscape, theories and suspicions continue to grow. With the crash site being in Washington, D.C., a city filled with political intrigue, some believe the truth may never fully come out. Final thoughts. The American Airlines and Black Hawk helicopter collision is a tragedy that will be remembered for years to come. But as details continue to emerge, one question lingers. Was this simply a horrific accident, or is there more to the story than we are being told? The coming weeks will be crucial in determining the truth. Until then, speculation will only continue to grow. What do you think happened? Was this a tragic accident or something more? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for updates as this story unfolds. Like and subscribe for updated news, technology, and the bizarre.